and it's a very sophisticated use of the equipment, and I'm sure Leo will describe it in more precise detail than I can. But the sensation is it's like looking at a film shoot simultaneously with the finished film output.
Miss Michel, a lot about your performance involves the techniques, but I think that in this year you helped also a lot in looking at the female thoughts in a different ways. Maybe this way of searching really deep on the face or with a camera is something also to develop a new way of telling about women.
Yes, of course you are right in what you say, and I'm very interested in accurate representations of women's perception and experience, as well as men's. But finally, I can only claim to have intimate experience of a female perception because that's the body that I sit in. So of course we are using the video to get closer, more accurate representations of women's experience and perception. So maybe for me it's very interesting to look at the lives which are not very theatrical, not very full of big events and big drama, but are quite banal, where people are very sad and lonely. I think many people live like that.
So, how do you think a spectator can be helped in understanding his reality through this augmented reality development?
Yeah, I suppose if you were to do a theatrical staging of these characters, it would be quite dull because nothing happens in their lives. But with the cameras you can get very close and you can see all the details of their despair, and that is quite theatrical if it's shot in close-up. So I think we can use the cameras to make major theatrical events out of a tear running down the cheek, which you couldn't see in the fifth row in the theatre.
So for me, the camera brings you close to the tiny, tiny, intimate details that you can exchange and see when you're standing very, very close to a person.
Leo, it's now many years you work with Kathy on technical development on stage and the cameras. What is your personal experience, and how do you think your perception of theatre changed this way?
It's been a really interesting journey developing a series of works using similar techniques and technologies with Katie, and starting with something that was very primitive technically but quite complex conceptually, and then developing that into a world where both the complexity of the technology and the complexity of the ideas has kind of come into alignment. It's certainly, I mean, I'm really from the theatre background anyway. It just happens my particular skills are technical, so in a sense I haven't come at it from a film perspective, so there's not been any surprises as such, but certainly working with like Katie, who's a very technical director in the sense that she really looks for the detail, has been fascinating in terms of understanding how characters developed really to a really intricate level, and that's been very interesting.
Women are more descriptive of our times.
I don't know that you could say that women are more descriptive of our times. I suppose the brilliant thing about feminism is that now there is more equality, but patriarchal structures and rules and regulations still exist and still need a little tiny, tiny bit of eroding. And so maybe it's quite good to do this erosion in theatre.
Thanks a lot.